Hey there, everyone. My name is Sarah, Weight Watcher Cape Cod woman, and Pearls of Wisdom and Food. It is Monday. I'm taping this for later in the week, Monday, November 2nd. Happy birthday, Barbie, my first best friend. Although her birthday on Facebook is 10 years younger than than mine, meaning that she was just being born when we met in 5th grade. No, I don't think so. So anyway, I'm getting my feet wet again with my my channel and my page, because yesterday I worked a 9-hour day and I was beyond brain dead with the time change. So I felt like it was 9 o'clock at night when I finally got home. I had a great day, but when you're 65 and your energy pie runs out and there's only crumbs in the bottom of the pie plate, it's over. You know that feeling of too tired to even get up off the couch and go to bed? Yeah, that's where I was. So anyway, so I was just reading a little bit on my community page, and I'm not quite sure if they're private messages or if they are under each video that I post on YouTube. But anyway, it seems like my sins of omission was like being in a confessional booth. And a lot of women, well, no men came forward, but a lot of women were confessing to things and admitting their struggles. And if it took that video to pull you out, then I'm glad it did. Because if you're living in your own little cave of isolation, well, don't you think that's part of it? I mean, we offer a community, a tribe, as it were, in both places, and this is the place where you can bring your specific issue surrounding food, and you're going to get a wealth of comments back, especially on the Facebook page, because it's much more interactive. And so if you are struggling, and if you are on just YouTube and you didn't know about the Facebook page, go on to Facebook, and it's Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Don't forget the food part. Like we ever would with our mouths, right? So, one woman said that she hasn't been tracking, or was it logging, tracking or something, for 2 weeks, and she's been on a binge. And where did we think she should begin? And it's like, I feel so bad, because that's 14 days too many, right? That's one bite too many. Most of us are very familiar with what we perceived as failure until we got to a place where we could get a program that works for us. And so we can certainly understand this woman. And another one was writing about her sugar and how she went nuts with the candy after Halloween, and, didn't get rid of it, didn't hide it under some hideous, food garbage, and before eating it, not just the wrappers. So anyway, there's no shame, there's no judgment when you do fall, but just know that the ramifications, especially if you have a food addiction, like a lot of us are coming to see, if you're in denial about your problem with food and you just might eat a little bit too much, or sometimes you have some of the wrong things, and you're really not looking at the psychological, emotional, mental parts of it, or even the physical parts of it, like how just looking at a cake could light up my brain, just like an addict looking at a set of Works and some heroin would light up their brains. I often say in my AA program, and I can probably say it here with the food too, the highest I was on that cake was knowing that it was in the refrigerator and I was going to go home and have it after dinner or lunch, or in lieu of, depends how many pieces. That was the highest I was, and it wasn't even in my body yet. So if you doubt you have a sugar addiction or a wheat addiction, which cake seems to satisfy both of those for me, then, hear that it was that way for me. I was higher thinking about it all day long than when I actually took that first bite. And then I was gone. I was like a drug addict. My brain was even more lit up. But my brain was lit with just the thoughts of going to have it later. And that's what we talk about with the setting up that you might be doing for yourself. One instance was the woman with the Klondike bars last week, and she had one, and her son was coming over, and I made a comment about that. And now she's going on vacation this week, and she feels that she's going to be in the re-exposure stage of it. Well, you know, when I listen to my podcasts and they talk about re-exposure to the wheat and to the sugar, not everybody is going to have a hangover that is the physical part, where it takes a while to come out of your body, but a lot of us will. And yes, it is a hangover. And yes, it takes a while to leave. And yes, there is guilt and remorse and shame, as well as the physical ramifications. You know, if you amp up your blood sugar with a whole bunch of Halloween candy, it doesn't mean that when you wake up the next day, you're over it. Your body still has it zooming through you. And I think somebody also said that as I was reading through the comments this morning. That, you know, what do I suggest for a cleanse? And it's like a mental cleanse first, you know. Drink more water, whatever your food program is, be it written down, tracked, logged, blogged. Do it, you know, follow it. Be honest with yourself and then honest with somebody else, be it here or at your meetings if you go to a meeting, or wherever it is that you can tell on yourself and admit to yourself. You know, we aren't living in a bubble if we're here. And so the Sin of Omission video brought out a lot, and so did the Pretty Raw Stuff in My Journey one. I haven't even finished. What happens is that if they comment, it goes into my spam page on my Yahoo account. So that's kind of cool. And so then I can go to underneath the video and know what I've addressed, who I've returned a comment to. And I do like to comment to most people. If they watch something back in April or May, it's kind of hard to get back to that because I have to scan through over 200 videos. But if it's like in the last week or so, it pops right up so I can see it. But anyway, thank you for the self-indulgence of my little fashion show with the 3 dresses. One would not make it to the Pearls of Wisdom and Food page no matter what I did. That was the gold, edgy, zipper, Michael Kors looking, but it was Calvin Klein actually, but it was very Michael Kors and the great big gold zipper thing. And people that saw that on my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, said, oh yeah, that one above the other 2. And all of my personal friends said, the winter white one, the ones that know me face to face, said, get that one. And then most people on the Pearls of Wisdom and Food said, do the black dress. And so I'm keeping the black, I'm keeping the winter white, the zipper one's going back. And thank you for the comments about my body or my legs or my whatevers. I definitely will need some concealing pantyhose because the ravages of 65 years of waitress legs and 3 cats that think that I am a scratch pad show. So I'm going to have to find some textured something or other cover up. So anyway, that's part of my mission. But thank you for indulging me. I did take it down because it is not all about me and how I look. Trust me, it's about the message, the help, the journey, and the come along with us. This has worked for us. Why don't you try it? Or if you're still resistant, just finding the support with what you're still doing and feeling safe to do that here. Like when I read that somebody has something on their toast. It's like, well, okay. A lot of us have made the transition from wheat or grains to, and even gluten-free offerings, to none at all. But if you're still there, that's fine. If you're getting the results that you want, that's fine. It's when you recognize that it could be a problem, or you recognize that it is a problem, or you feel it is a problem, that we're here to help too with how we transition, because it is a transition. I've been listening to 2 Down Under, and what's not to love about the Aussie accent? I am telling you, I am following you anywhere you go. So I'm listening to 2 different ones. One was taped in 2015, one was taped in 2014. And it's all about the, they pretty much say LCHF, whereas I say HFLC. So whatever it is, it's how you do it. Low fat, excuse me, whoops, smack me. Low carb, high fat food program. And so I listened to a whole bunch of 10 to 15 minute nutritionists, dietitians, and doctors, and a cardiologist to boot, talk about it and the benefits. And how the cardiologist, when he was giving his little whatever, asked the audience how many were here because they were already believers and they just came for the boost. Most of the hands went up. How many are here because you're curious and you figured this was the place to come because of the, stellar panel of high-fat, low-carb professionals, experts. And another smattering of hands went up. And then the final question was, how many are here because somebody dragged you? And hands went up, and of course everybody broke out in laughter, and I love that. How many times have I dragged somebody to something with me hoping that they'd catch the bug that I've caught? And Al-Anon and being in AA helped me with that, like mind my own business. I have one friend who has been on probably as many diets in the last few months as, I don't know, each pound I've lost, I guess. And she gives it, 8 to 14 days, and when it doesn't work, she switches up. Her poor body from the yo-yoing. And not once, and this is kind of funny because she's probably on my hand of the top 5 friends. She's never once seen a video. She's never once asked me how I did it, how I do it, and she's never once asked me how I maintain the loss, which, as we learn here, is very important. So it's just very, very interesting how certain people are resistant and to change, to their own change, even when they see it personal, face to face, and will still do anything that feels right to them. So, I love the person, and I love, because I see it here, and I'm sure that some of you that are more resistant, but you're still here, like your arms are folded. I can't see you, but I picture your arms folded. It's like, yeah, I'm still here because I've kind of gotten used to your voice with my coffee in the morning, and so I'm still here, but I'm still fighting you. I'm still waiting for that news flash to come down and prove that you're wrong. And it's like, I'm not here to be proven right or wrong. I'm just here telling you what's worked for me. You're telling me what works for you. You go and you weigh yourself and you've lost the weight, and that's like good enough to keep going another week, isn't it? And that's how it was for me. And now that I'm on maintenance, it's getting on the scale and finding I haven't gained. So anyway, I have to go to work now. I am treating myself. If any of you are every 2-week paid on Friday, you will have experienced the same thing I did, that once every 2-year third paycheck in the month. And so I did bank most of it, but I'm also treating my black car to a detailing before winter ravages it. And then maybe there'll be less damage, and then in the spring, taking care of whatever damage and ravage, because last winter was quite brutal if you had a black car, especially the undercarriage. So I'm going to treat myself to that. So that means dropping off my 3 bags of food and gear, immersion blender and all that, at my job, and then driving there and dropping it off, and then walking back to work, and then the same in reverse when I get done with work. So I hope you had a good weekend. I hope that you felt you were allergic and you recoiled from any of that horrible fake Easter candy. I doubt that you were giving out, cacao, dark chocolate, organic, fair-traded chocolates to the little cretins that came by all dressed up. So if you've got some of that fake chocolate hanging out in little snack-sized portions that you figure, oh, I'll just keep it, check in with your that arousal part of your brain And just think about the sugar in it. Just think about the chemicals in it, but how it makes you feel. And just see if you're getting off without even looking at it or smelling it, you might have an addiction to sugar. Just saying. So anyway, this is going to be aired probably when I am off to Rhode Island for a 2-day summit on opiate addiction, drug addiction, medically assisted treatment, which means methadone, Suboxone, and Subutex, which a good portion of our clients have, and all the other good stuff that's happening out there in the world of recovery and addiction and getting clean and sober. So I will be airing it probably Thursday or Friday. And so that's it for me for now. It's 15 minutes, and that's a perfect cup of coffee, wouldn't you say? So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and please comment below. I always love your feedback. Thanks so much. This has been Sarah. Bye-bye for now.